Let's go across to Sukirti. Sukirti, the parents have fought for 7 years in the courts for this verdict. Give us a sense of their fight for justice for their daughter.
Well, yes, for the family, it has been a very long struggle. It was in September 2013 that the convictions took place. Their daughter was brutally gang raped on 16 December 2012. A year later, September 13th, September 2013 is when the convictions took place, and since then she had been fighting this long battle for justice, and finally it seems to have come through. In fact, today in the courtroom, Nirbhaya's mother also broke into tears. Also, what happened was that one of the convicts, Mukesh, his mother also broke down in the court, and in fact she pleaded to Nirbhaya's mother, saying that मेरे लड़के को माफ कर दीजिए, मैं उसकी जिंदगी की भीख आपसे मांगती हूँ. Will you please, forgive my son? I am pleading before you to let him live. So all of those emotional moments, very moments of struggle for families on both sides, but definitely for Nirbhaya's mother, it's been a very long battle, and now finally we may see some justice coming through when the execution might take place on 22nd January. Also, Rohit, I'd just like to add on, this details of how this execution is likely to take place. We had reported on 10th of December that preparations for the execution had already begun in Tihar jail, specifically in jail number 3, where the executions usually take place. A dummy trial had already been conducted. As part of the dummy trial, a wooden structure of approximately the same weight as that of the convict is used, and in order to check the gallows whether they will be able to sustain the weight of the convict or not. So those dummy trials had already been conducted at least a month ago. Specialized ropes were being brought in from the Buxar jail, the same kind of ropes that were also brought for Afzal Guru's hanging in 2013, who was accused in the parliament attack. So all of those preparations are already started in the Tihar jail, because the jail authorities had also, by that point of time, by 10th of December, they had seen that at least 3 review petitions of at least 3 convicts had already been rejected by the Supreme Court. So they were hoping or expected that the 4th review petition filed by Akshay Thakur would also get rejected by the Supreme Court, which later, as we discovered, is what happened. And also the mercy petition filed by one of the convicts, Vinay, had also been withdrawn by the first week of December. So that's why the preparations, as far as the jail authorities are concerned, had already begun a month ago. And now on 22nd January, we have a date from the Patiala House Court now that at 7 a.m. on that day, the execution will take place. Rohit.
Sukirti, some of the, I think 1 or 2 of the convicts have said that they have the option of filing the curative petition. What did the court say on that?
Well, as far as their options are concerned, that's the argument that they tried to make in court as well. Their lawyers kept making this argument that they should be allowed to file these curative petitions. They should be allowed to make allowed to file their mercy petition also with the precedent. However, those arguments were countered by the public prosecutor, saying that they are just trying to buy out time. However, 14 days are still remaining, and these remaining legal options that the convicts have, they can also be explored by them. But the whole question is that these are options that have not been utilized all these years. So in these 14 remaining days, will these convicts actually switch to those or not? And if they do, then that would lead to a delay, because as far as our laws are concerned, if any of these convicts try to explore these legal options and they are entitled to do that, then that would mean that the execution will have to be delayed and will have to be put on hold until the options have been fully explored. Rohit.
Sukirti, give us a sense of what happened in the courtroom. How was it a packed courtroom? How long did it take for the arguments to conclude? And when the verdict was pronounced, what were the immediate reactions of the various parties? Give us a sense of what exactly went inside the courtroom.
Well, yes, Rohit, today around 3:30 is the time when the verdict was expected. Before that, for about nearly 2 hours, the arguments went inside the courtroom. The lawyers of all of these four convicts were present for the longest time. The arguments from their side was that their legal options are still remaining. They, at least three of them have still not filed a mercy petition with the president. They should be allowed to do that. They cannot be deprived of their right by, and a death warrant cannot be issued in a hurry. However, the public prosecutors kept countering that claim by saying that they've not filed it this long, so no, they should not be allowed to buy any more time by using that basis. And of course, along with those arguments being made, there were several emotional moments as well as inside the courtroom. As we said, one of the convicts, Mukesh Singh's mother, she went up to Nirbhaya's mother, broke down into tears and said that if you could just forgive my son, I am pleading before you to let him live. And Nirbhaya's mother also became very emotional when the verdict was announced because she has fought such a long battle. So all of this is what was going inside in the courtroom. The media was there initially, but many of them were asked to move out, and it was very few people by the end of it. The judges, the convicts, as well as their lawyers, and very few family members. Only those were present inside the courtroom when the verdict was finally announced. And very hard moments for both Nirbhaya's mother as well as the convicts' families, as we've been saying, mothers on both sides breaking down, seeing for one the fight for her daughters, for justice for her daughter, and for the other mother to know that her son would be hanged on 22nd of January at 7 a.m. So very difficult moments for the families involved, but as far as the legal procedures are concerned, it has taken a very long time, and now it remains to be seen whether these remaining legal options that the convicts still have, whether they'll be exploring those or not. Rohit.